Hi, it's Dot from dot.com. And one of the problems I had going low carb was making my husband happy in a sense that he missed hamburgers, he missed his grilled cheese sandwiches, he missed just sandwiches in general or subs. So I started taking a look at, okay, what can I do to substitute for that? Well, there's lettuce wraps, and that helps. I certainly have done lettuce wraps with burgers, but it wasn't really as satisfying for my husband. So I started doing a little research and I stumbled across a thing which I thought was a little bit strange, which was a bread made out of eggs and cream cheese that is pretty much almost zero carb slice, but it exists. It's called Oopsie Bread, and we're going to be making that today. So, what you need are 3 eggs. You need about 3.5 ounces of cream cheese, a little thing called psyllium husk, or you can also use golden flaxseed meal as well. And that helps take some of the moisture out of it to make it feel a little bit more bread like. You also need a half a teaspoon of baking soda and a pinch of salt. So we're going to get started on it. And what you do first is you want to separate your eggs and your yolks and your egg whites. And I've already gone ahead and done that. The reason why is the bread doesn't really, it sort of falls in a way, although it's a pretty flatbed bread, but you need to sort of whip the eggs. You want them to be a little bit fluffy, so you want to whip those egg whites. So I'm going to add my salt to my egg whites. And I'm going to go ahead and actually start whipping them. And you want really stiff peaks to the point where the whites don't move in your bowl when you start tipping your bowl over. They shouldn't slide or move at all. So I'm going to go ahead and start whipping them up. Here we go. Let me see. I'm testing. Yep, my egg whites are done. They're not moving and they're not falling out of the bowl. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and start on the yolks. And I'm going to add the cream cheese. And I'm going to start, well, before I start blending, I'm going to go ahead and add the psyllium husk and the flaxseed to it. I use the flaxseed because I wanted to add a little bit of omega-3s to it, even though the eggs do have that, but I still wanted to add a little bit more. So here I go. I'm going to start blending everything. And I'm going to increase the speed. And I'm never going to get it completely creamy. It's still going to look almost like a yellow cottage cheese, if you will, when the eggs combine with the cream cheese, and that's okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine them. I'm going to fold the egg whites. Actually, I'm going to fold my yolk cream and cream cheese concoction in with the egg whites. So I'm going to just go ahead. And you don't want to over blend because you do want the egg whites to keep the air that you're putting into it. And then I'm going to go ahead and just gently fold everything together. You notice the egg whites, the fluffy egg whites start turning yellowish. You want to get rid of, you don't really want to see any white in here. That way you know it's really mixed really well together. So now what you're going to do, let me clear off a little space here so you can see, is you're going to basically you're going to preheat your oven to 300, which I'm doing right now. I need is a ladle and a spoon. I use that. And you don't have to do this. This is optional. But I like to top my Oopsie Bread with either seed or maybe some salt or maybe even herbs or, whatever, or different types of seasonings. Today I'm using black and toasted sesame seeds. So that'll be on top. So that's what that looks like. But what you do, this ladle measures out to a quarter cup. So what I'm going to do is just simply ladle this out. It's going to look like a glob going on here. And that's the way I want it. But this mix should probably make you about 6 or 8 Oopsie Breads, depending on how big you want them. Now, I have some more batter left, but that's okay, because what I'm going to take is my spoon, and I'm just going to gently swirl it around. And this is how I'm going to make them round. Give them some shape and form. And once I start getting the shape and form, what I'm going to do is add in the rest of the mix on top of them. They do spread a little bit, but that's okay. For baking purposes, I put it on wax paper so they won't stick. Okay, now that I've had them spread out, roundish for the most part, I'm going to go ahead and take my seeds and just start sprinkling the tops of them. So sort of like think of it as a hamburger bun with seeds, with toasted sesames and black sesame seeds. And the nice thing is you can add as much as you want, or you don't have to add any at all. It really is up to you. Okay, there we go. Now the oven's preheated. What I'm going to do is go ahead and put this in, and you put it in for about 20 to 30 minutes. It seems like a wide range, but my oven can be a little bit wonky at times. But check it after about 20 minutes, and you want it to be golden brown on top, or just, and it'll look cracked, a little bit cracked on top, and that's exactly what it's supposed to look like. But again, about 20 minutes, check it. If it still looks a little bit too pale to you, leave it in a little bit longer. But about 20, 25 minutes, you're probably good, or even up to 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in, and I'll be back in about 20 minutes. Hey, we're back. It is 25 minutes later. I've taken the Oopsie Bread out of the oven. You can pretty much quickly take it right off the parchment paper as soon as it comes out, or you can let it cool for a little bit. I like to take it off. And as you can see, it's pretty flexible. And you can make it crispier if you choose to, or you can make it, softer. You just want to make sure it's done. Normally what I do is I'll put these in a bread box and leave them on a countertop just for a day or two. I don't leave them longer than that because mold can set in since this is made out of eggs. Cream cheese, there's no preservatives in them like normal bread at the grocery store has. You can put them in the freezer and preserve them that way, as well as put them in the fridge, and they'll last a few days longer. But if you leave them on a countertop, they pretty much have to go within a day or two. And that certainly is the case in our household. They're gone. Now, sometimes people I've heard talk about it, and they can have a little bit of a slight egg flavor, obviously, because they're made out of eggs and cream cheese. I haven't had that problem with them, again, because I like to add, like I said, some seeds on top. You can add herbs to them. As far as uses for them, obviously, you put two together, you got yourself a sandwich. You can use them, we've used them for hot dogs, burgers. In the morning, we'll just put butter on them, and we're good to go. Because, like I said, it's eggs, so there's protein in these puppies. The other thing you can do too, if you want it to, you can make a larger one and do a roll up with some berries and cream as a nice little dessert. So there's a lot of different uses you can use for these, and it's a great way to add bread back into your low carb diet. See you next time.